Hello there, and welcome to a good old-fashioned map clear instead of Dr. T. Haha, surprise! So basically, I am currently unavailable. I have taken a walk in a deep wood and have taken a path less traveled. So well, maybe not so much less traveled. I'm getting drunk in a nylon room. Let's not kid ourselves. Um, so, yes, I am out camping and thus away from all things computer, which means I cannot make any kind of video for Dr. T, and I apologize for anyone disappointed by that. I can't imagine anyone being really that disappointed by it, but hey, anyways. I'm throwing up a map clear because I have some I guess map clearing footage that I've recorded over the last little bit here and there. As you can see in my last attack, if you go back at this point, if you go back, I had 2 tanks per landing craft. Now in this one I've upgraded to 3 whole tanks in one. It's not that I'm troops down, which does occasionally happen, but in this case it's just that's all the troops that I got. The reason being is, so this footage is from, I guess, May the 8th, so 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, yeah, 3, give or take. Anyways, and back then, I was unable to have 3 tanks in all of my landing crafts. I know, it seems kind of crazy. Basically, what I'm telling you is I upgraded all of my landing craft for tanks to accept 3 tanks in a number of weeks, with really no significant VP increase, which is the part that really blew my mind, because when I set my sights on this and I knew this was going to happen, I kind of envisioned my VP going from 300 to 700 and just, being utterly blown away by how incredibly difficult it was going to be and whatnot. And yeah, fortunately, Supercell was very, very kind. So the strategies that I used, I guess I can thank, my good old real-time strategy days, playing Command and Conquer and Warcraft before there was a world in front of it, and Total Annihilation and all those fantastic old games, where resource management was so incredibly important, as well as, strategy for building your base and defenses and all of the things. Walls. Walls. Sorry. Now I'm getting flashbacks of all these games that I've played over the years, and come on. Two-headed ogres, well, I guess the ogres, and then after you upgraded them to the ogre mages, which were even, we did, anyway, oh, Dread Knights, I'm back, and what I did is, I guess, that resource management has kind of hung on, and has led me to how I upgraded all of my tanks with relative minor pain in a really quick period of time, because while I was upgrading my tanks, I also upgraded a bunch of my defenses. And to put this in perspective, when I started, very turtle-ish, I had really high defenses and really low VP. Like, when I say low VP, I mean like sub 100 VP, like low. I think I was like level 38 with less than 100 VP, which gives you an idea of, like, holy crap, what was I doing? And then I went all offensive and, like, didn't upgrade any of my defenses from about level 38 till, what, 50? I added in a few boom cannons here and there, and I added in the shock launcher. As things unlocked, I kind of threw in the mines, obviously, and extra towers and whatnot. But really, my focus has been on upgrading landing crafts and upgrading all of the support structures and everything, and that's what we're getting into right here, which is basically, in order to upgrade my landing craft, I had to upgrade everything else first. Which might sound a little ridiculous, but here's basically how it rolled out. I was lucky enough to do the HQ 20 upgrade before they changed the levels and whatnot. As soon as I turned to, I think, what was it, like level 47 or level 48 or whatever the old XP requirement used to be. Once I turned to that, I did a good old-fashioned map clear and upgraded to that. Now, at that time, because like HQ 18, 19, and 20 are all kind of condensed really close together, I wasn't really upgrading much of anything else except for my HQs in that time period. Like, there was very minimal stuff being done, and I ended up having to let things like my armory fall behind and my radar. Like, my goodness, I got my radar up to level 15 and it basically sat there at level 15, and the only reason I got it to 15 was so that I could get the War Factory and Hammerman unlocked. I kind of unlocked both of them at the same time, which, you know, but anyways, so in after I got my level 20 HQ, I worked up my statue sculptor, I guess, which is super important because as much as level 20 is a big deal because you get extra defenses and you get this and you get that, by all means, statues make and break you. I had a wave of statue upgrades, fortunately enough, while I was going through and trying to upgrade my landing crafts, and I tell you, between those statues getting upgraded and being able to field a few more offensive players, well, you know what I mean, offensive tanks, but units, if you prefer, it really made a huge difference and made clearing my map that much easier, which was nice because, you know, you've got to clear your map a few times if you want to do multiple upgrades that require 3.6 million of every resource. Anyways, back to the task at hand. I upgraded my statue or sculptor to max it out so I could have extra whatevers, extra offensive statues, I guess it would be. And then I upgraded my radar to max. It needed to be 20. The reason for this is if you have the higher level radar, it has a quicker level of refresh from what I've read on the wiki. On the internets, they told me things and I took it for true. If it's not, then, you know, I guess I just wasted some extra time, but whatevs. The point is, I upgraded my radar so that I could get access to things quicker, which is key because basically I did a map clear every other day. And the reason I did it every other day is I didn't want my VP going absurdly through the roof, so I focused on managing it, I guess, as I collected ridiculous amounts of resources, which means that basically if I got someone on my map that had less than 6-digit resources, I generally try to avoid attacking them. And when I say 6-digit resources, generally I mean in 2 or 3 of the resource fields. Like, every base you get has 4, right? You get your wood, your stone, your iron, and your gold. And what I would do is make sure that at least 2 or 3 of those we're in 6 digits, so over 100,000 of either wood, stone, iron, or gold. And the reason I say 2 or 3 is 2 was an absolute must in the stone, iron, and wood category, and then gold was kind of nice to have over 100k, but not a game breaker. But if I had one that, say, had like 100k wood and like 80k of the other 2 and like 400k gold, I might hold on to that base, just because some of the unit upgrades that I was also doing in conjunction kind of tie into that. Oh, that is another one of those buildings that I maxed right out for my HQ level. The old armory was actually, I think, the very first thing I upgraded after HQ. Like, it would have gone HQ, because my armory was already 19, armory up to 20, and then after those 2 were done, I started working on the radar. I upgraded some of my residences, but then I realized really quickly, when you're doing a map clear every other day to take in enough resources to do all of your landing craft, you get so much gold, which was absolutely amazing, because having maxed out my radar before I started, basically every little bit of extra gold that I had laying around here or there, or if I just had a day where I didn't get raided and I kind of was able to throw extra gold and stuff, I was able to unlock more and more of my map, which was amazing, because on a map where I couldn't attack anything, I clear a few zones, and suddenly, hey, I've got new victims that I can victimize. Listen, it was their fault for wearing those defenses in that neighborhood. Oh, maybe that got a little dark. Now, things I very distinctly ignored were the... Oh, geez. What's that little guy called? You know, the one I never upgrade because I don't give any craps about it. It makes the prototype modules. Yeah, that one. That's how little craps I give about it, because I don't use prototype modules. My defense is blow chunks. I am going to get raided, and I'm good with that, because in another 10 levels, when I have decent defenses, then we might be talking. Then I might be looking to get some prototype modules down. So now is a fantastic time to build that up, as far as I'm concerned. Anyways, also I forgot to mention, my vault is another one of those things. My vault was actually the 4th thing that I maxed out to 20, or 4th upgrade, because it like, after the armory, I upgraded the radar once, and then I upgraded the vault to max it out, and then I maxed out my statue sculptor, and then I maxed out my radar, because I like did multiple levels on it afterwards, kind of a thing. And the reason for that is basically because my resources, or I was building so many resources, and my defenses were so crappy, I was guaranteed to get raided multiple times a day. And I tell you, having that maxed out vault, really, you can get up over 500,000 of each resource before you even feel the fact that you've been raided. Completely 100% protected is, I think, 450,000. And when your resources don't fall into that category, you've got like 90% protection on the remaining resources, which means if you get up to like 600k, you're only losing like 5 or 10k, which is basically like an hour's worth of sleeping. And I say an hour's worth of sleeping because your iron and stone and wood production from either islands that you've taken, like resource islands that you've taken, or the ones in your base, will give you more than that in an hour. Well, okay, at least mine do. I'm getting around 15k an hour for each one. So, maxing out that vault, even though it doesn't seem like it's going to do very much for you, it's a huge deal, because even if you are long on one resource and you're gonna get attacked, you're long on one resource but the other two not so much, by having that up there you can hold more before people, when they scout you, will see anything worth getting, which is to say, like, if you've got 400k in each of them, when they scout you, you're gonna have like maybe 20 or 30 of each resource that they're actually gonna steal from you, and then there's the multipliers that Supercell has built in and blah blah blah. And I have a feeling, and obviously I can't confirm this and I can't promise this and I don't know it for sure, but I speculate that that means basically what they see when they scout you is probably between 20 and 30k of each resource, which for most people who aren't just like straight going for pure VP is enough of a deterrent, because they're like, I don't want to waste my attack on this shitty resource person, blah blah blah. The same way that I have been focusing on people chilling with more than 100k of each resource. So that not only does that vault save you loot, it prevents you from getting raided when you don't want to be raided. It also, just looks kind of cool. But I'm a big fan of the vault. All right, I'll leave it at that. I know some people say, "Oh no, don't worry about the vault. You don't need to upgrade it." Blah blah blah. But I'm telling you, I upgraded the vault, and I was never ever sorry that I did so. I was actually sorry that I didn't upgrade it sooner, because it is so ridiculously useful. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. This is installment number 1 of possibly many, because I will be droning on incessantly about more stuff. So, have yourselves a great day.